Welcome. This is BloombergQuint, and we are taking stock of all that has happened in the markets today. Well, for now, we are looking at benchmark indices advancing by around 0.5%, and on the whole, however, it's been a mixed day of trade. But let's start by talking about all the gainers on the mid-cap, or rather the Nifty, and of course, Bharti Infratel along with Bharti Airtel, both of them leading the gains, and we're going to talk about that in just a bit. We have Reliance Industries also up 3.5%. Possibly for a related reason. Axis Bank, Power Grid and Cipla also advancing in trade. On the losing end, we have some weakness in Z Entertainment. Further weakness after yesterday's decline around 4% in Yes Bank, Mahindra & Mahindra, TCS and Tata Steel weighing down on the indices. In the broader markets, no different when it comes to the advance decline ratio, 1:1. Vodafone Idea, of course, advancing, but a whole host of banks from the public sector space also moving up. UCO Bank, Corporation Bank, Oriental Bank of Commerce, Andhra Syndicate, as well as Indian Overseas Bank, all looking to advance. Of course, on the losing end, we have SBI Life that was on account of a very large bulk deal. Time Technoplast, Jagran Prakashan, Reliance Capital and Diwan Housing Finance also declining in trade. Well, a very quick word firstly on Yes Bank, which declined by around 2.6%. We understand that Rana Kapoor, along with the associated companies, Morgan Credits, and one other entity, has sold further shares in Yes Bank. And at this point in time, from what we understand is that Rana Kapoor has no more than 800 shares in Yes Bank. What we saw was the Yes Bank moved after the news came through up and moved above the mark of 67 and came off again, eventually closed near day's lows at around 64. But as some may suggest that the overhang of that sale is done and dusted with. So the question really is that where does the bank go from here? The other the aspect that we wanted to address today was the fact that we saw tremendous gains in a lot of telecommunications companies, and as you can see here, we saw Vodafone Idea advance by around 36%, now at 6 rupees per share, and of course we've already seen it gain move twice as double in the last 3 or 4 days. And of course you also had Bharti Infratel, Airtel, and of course Reliance Industries as well, considering the fact that a lot of its exposure to Reliance Jio. Well, the reason here is that Bharti Airtel along with Vodafone Idea yesterday came and suggested that they will be looking to hike tariffs, and that of course has augured well for the entire industry, and that's the reason why we're looking at some amount of gains. From there on, let's also talk about a bank which is in focus on account of a brokerage note, and I'm going to get in Darshan Mehta to talk to us about that. Darshan?
Yeah, so it's ICICI Bank. So what has happened is we'll also pull up and see what the ratings are for ICICI Bank. So Macquarie's come out with this note here. Their target price is 615, which makes it the second highest. I don't think Bloomberg has updated the target price yet. So it's after Morgan Stanley, which is 665. The next comes is Macquarie. That will be updated by the end of the day. Their target price is 615, and it's the second highest on the street. What they're saying right now is that the bank is now focusing on the operating profit and looking at containing the provisioning to almost 20 to 25% of the PPOP. The other factor that they say is that there is no capital requirement, at least in the near term. They manage the management of the company, and they are pretty confident in terms of what the CEO's approach is towards running the business, and they believe there are several near-term catalysts that are there on Yes Bank. Now remember, Yes Bank already rallied significantly ahead of this event. It's rallied all the way from levels of 380 right up to levels of 480, so it's a 100 rupee move. The last move coming in from this level was the MSCI inclusion, in which close to $1 billion of buying was expected. So a lot of brokerages have now turned extremely bullish on ICICI Bank. It's been one of the top performers on the index. So just finally, let's take a look at what the consensus returns does indicate on the Bloomberg. So there is a potential of still 10% potential upside on ICICI Bank till now.
Okay, there you have it. That's ICICI Bank for you at 493. Darshan, thanks for getting us those updates. So, that's the big brokerage upgrade. And on that note, let me get in Sharad Dubey to talk to us about the two other stocks which are buzzing in trade. Sharad, what do you have for us?
Yes, Agam. The first stock is Axelis Solutions. The stock went up as high as almost 13% in the day. Its highest levels seen in almost 17 months. So this is based on the news that the holding company of the of XLA Solutions has been acquired by Vista Equity Partners. So it's a private equity firm, and this also, you know, signals an exit for Warburg Pincus, you know, which is a you know, your company. Apart from this, if you see what interesting thing I have taken out from this SEAG chart from the Bloomberg function is that the stock is up already 27.2% up. Now if you see, this has been one of the best months already, and mind you, almost 10 to 11 days are still left in almost 7 years. You know, last time that this happened, the stock went up as high as 71% in terms of monthly returns. That is something which we need to watch out for. There was this rally, you know, coming in and the stock going up as you know, as high as almost 50%, you know, the last 3 months, with 3 insider tradings as well, in which the owners, you know, were acquiring shares. Apart from this, we also need to talk about in the realty space, the Prestige Estates projects. You know, the stock was up almost 2.3%. This is based on the news that, you know, the company has acquired 29% stake in DB Group's commercial project arm in BKC in Mumbai from Trinity Capital. So mind you, last month itself, Prestige Estates project went into a joint development program with an investment of roughly 1,000 crore with the same DB Group itself for Delhi's AeroCity. Now if you see the technical chart itself, now if you can pan in, if you see the stock itself, you know, closed today, you know, at the levels of above the 50-day average, and the stock ending the day at almost 299 rupees per share. Even the stock is also handsomely trading above the 100-day moving average. So this is something which we will be watching out for in the technical space as well. It's a critical mark. So these two stocks are actually buzzing in the space today, and they're quite positive.
Sure, fair enough. Thanks, Sharath, for those updates. Are clear, as well as Prestige Estates. Keep an eye on that. And on that note, it's a wrap on the markets, but there's lots more lineup. Stay tuned to BloombergQuint.
So people, when they invest and